Looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, and welcome to my daily review. Obviously, this thing is in a strong power trend. It's probably making some people nervous right now at 13,782. But you know, the trend is your friend. Tomorrow's OPEX Friday, and so the monthly, quarterly, weekly options expire. There you can see the Nasdaq is 2.9% above its 10 EMA and 5.2% above its 21. So it took out the 13,181 and just keeps ripping higher. I expect a pullback. Today was a good example of why, you got to ignore the pre-market action because things look really bad in pre-market. And then the Nasdaq shook it off and just ripped higher another 1.15%. You can see the volume coming in this week. The volume is accelerating well above average. Anyway, I want to take a look at some stocks. I'm going to take a look first at the home builder stocks because Lennar reported last night and kind of put a bid underneath these home builders. Lennar, you can see this little base here traded below its 50 for a little spell and then rallied through it and then made an all-time high today. I think it's an all-time high. No, maybe not. Yeah, all-time high after an earnings report. Okay. Anyway, the other home builder stocks that I like that I'm watching that got a little bit of a bid from Lennar was a DHI. This is up 1.5%. Just had a little inside day as it bounced off its 10 EMA, and then Builder's a supplier. This one pulled back to the 21, bounce, now pulled back to the 10. Small bounce today, 1.6%. And the last one is Taylor Morrison, TMHC. And this pulled back to the 10 and then bounced today, nearly 2%. So a good day for the home builders. I want to take a look at the software security stocks. Palo Alto Networks, this is on our watch list. I mention this every day. And this is a big, long base, 38% depth in that base. And it just broke out recently. Like I said, you can expect like a 20% gain from the 213. So I figured 250, it's cruising there. Looks pretty good. There's the breakout. There's the move. Pull back to the 10. And then boom, there you go. So congrats to the longs there at Palo Alto Networks. Fortinet is another one. And this one's starting to break out. This one's been on our ready list, watch list. Last couple of weeks, I think people got tired of it just percolating here. But this to me looks like it's breaking out of a long consolidation period here. This is like 18 months of consolidating. And to me, this looks very, very good. Just like the old proverbial cup of the handle pattern. Anyway, Fortinet looks good, still actionable, even though 673. I would say it's still actionable. Datadog, that's not chasing. This one is another one that's been on our ready list, and I like this coming out of a stage 1 base. It's got the pivot at 103. I had it a little lower than that, but it doesn't matter. If you're in, this thing looks good. If not, it's giving you an opportunity. INTA. INTAP. This one, yeah, let me see. Yeah, consolidation here. Beautiful. Pull back here. Still quite a bit above its 10 EMA. But maybe one more day of shaking out here. But Intel looks good. Like the looks of that stock. And I have to look at Adobe because they reported after hours here. I don't want to look at the daily. I want to look at the weekly here. This thing's starting to break out of a stage 1 base. Up 3% after hours on a good beat and raise quarter. So we look for good things from Adobe, and that could spark more buying in software names, which were definitely in strong today as the semiconductors sold off. There was some retail's been kind of rough. It's hit and miss. Vita Coco made another new high today and then pulled back. It'd be down 20 cents into the close, but still, this thing's on a heater. Seems like it makes a new high every day. The ELF on the shelf, pull back to the 50, went above the 100 par level, and then now it's just forming this little shelf here again. Traded down to the 21, got a little bounce. It looks good, just biding its time. Like I say, the Retail is kind of tough. A lot of retailers are struggling and not doing well. This is Celsius. We had this at 122. This is a classic example. Like it blasted out of a after an earnings report. It blasted higher. It was up like 134 at the high, closed at 128, and so it went up to 138 here. And our buy point, I believe, was 120, 122, and so yeah, 122.24. I think that's what it was. Standard buy point, but it pulled back to 122. So if you paid attention to it, it gave you one day where it pulled back to the 21 where you could have got in. And you got to be quick. You got to be watching these things. And it's up 4% this week. And you can see the pattern there and moving out. Celsius looks good to me. Oh, yeah. The robotics, AI, those stocks had a great day today. This is AI. It was up more than 8%. Above average daily volume. And then the BOTZ, the BOTZ, the exchange traded fund, this thing's just ripping high. If you don't want to own an individual one, you can own BOTZ. ROBO is another exchange traded fund here with the automation, the robotics and automation. And then SYM is another one that just keeps ramping and making new highs. So that one is really looking good, impressive. I mean, you can't buy it up here, but if you own it, congrats to the longs. I did say the semiconductor stocks sold off, and they have a right to. They took a pause. They've been up a lot. AMD pulled back to its 10 EMA. We'll see if it bounces there. They had a nice presentation this week. New products, new partnership. Looks good. NVDA, this is on our watch list early in the week, and it blasted from 390 to 430. Made a new high today and just pulled back slightly. NVIDIA looks good. And SMCI, leading stock and leading group. To me, this is, just kind of flagging here. Trading tight, double inside days, pinching in. I would not be surprised if this thing moves next week. Anyway, that's it for today. Remember, Monday is a holiday, so it's a 3-day weekend. Tomorrow is OPEX Friday, and the last day of the quarter. So there's going to be some volatility. Anyway, not the last day of the quarter, the last day for options, the third Friday of the month, not the last day of the quarter. Anyway, we never give up.